Hey my lovelies, I hope you are all safe and well. It's Mitch here. I'm just coming on to do this Monday's guidance reading. So, just want to say a couple of things before we look at the cards this week. Well, first of all, I want to show you this cool t-shirt that I got. So I'm going to just sort of like stand up. This is my cheeky Maleficent t-shirt from Shein, I have to say, and it's pretty cool. So huge fan of Maleficent, one of my all-time favorite Disney villains, so I just had to have this. So I just wanted to do some t-shirt appreciation. So what's been happening? So first of all, we got to talk about the weekend shenanigans. So if you came to see me at the Yatton Kennel show, thank you so much for a fantastic evening. We had an absolutely beautiful night with Spirit, a beautiful night of reconnections. There were some very powerful messages. One message in particular that actually nearly brought me to tears, which very rarely happens as a medium, but it was a very powerful, very deep message, and just that love, that validation of life beyond physical death was amazing. We also had Thomas Clare, who did a mini acoustic set, and I think for those of you that sort of were there, you will agree he did amazing. That was his first sort of official public show, so he was awesome. So that was cool. So thank you very much if you came to support that show. And a few people have said that they didn't realize it was on. I'm really sorry if you didn't see the advertising, but you know, a lot of people did, hence why we sold quite a lot of tickets. So if you didn't see that, then apologies, but thank you so much to everybody that sort of did show up for that, because like I say, it was just a really, really beautiful night with Spirit. And then on Sunday, I was very lucky to team up with the guys, and we did our sort of next round of bulk recording episodes for our 4 Elements podcast, Less Bitching, More Witching. And we've also got our first guest podcast episode, which is going to launch within the next month in our bulk sort of session, so that's very exciting. So I just had a really, really cool weekend. So what's happening for this week? So I feel very connected to work with a brand new deck that I want to show you guys. So this one is called the Spirit Within Tarot, and it is by Stephen Bright. So really cool deck, this one. So these are the cards. Let's give them a bit of a cheeky knock. Let's give them a cheeky shuffle. Let's see what's happening for this Monday and the coming week ahead. Channeling these cards for the highest of good. Let's see where the energies are taking us. Oh no, because one will literally pop itself at me. Oops. Like that. This is a theme, it keeps coming up. I don't know about you guys, it's really hot. So I acquired a new fan, which literally says it's fucking hot. Oh, I'm like proper having my own summer, let alone about the summer. Oh yeah, definitely so hot, so warm. Anyway, Ten of Wands is coming in. Ten of Wands, as you can see, is often about carrying a little bit of a heavy weight, a heavy burden. It's like we're trying to move forward, we're trying to stay really focused on the journey, sort of the path in front, but we're just maybe getting a little bit bogged down with stuff. So it's really, really important at the moment that you guys allow yourself permission to travel light. Don't take on anything that is heavy or compromising or, you know, weighing you down or holding you back. Be brave enough, be real enough to sling it out, to let it go, regardless of what it is. So it may be for some of you guys that it could be physical items or possessions or people. Sometimes it links into emotional baggage, emotional situations. Maybe there's just a little bit of a thought pattern that's becoming quite heavy, quite restrictive. You know, maybe there are some physical connections, could be relationships, family members, friends, jobs, people at our work that are holding you back or weighing you down, and we just have to keep it real. And I think keeping it real, being authentic, it's hard work, you know, it's not always straightforward, it's not always easy, but can you really put a price on authentic living? So have those conversations, however difficult they might be. you know, make those changes, however sort of tricky they are, to sort of, you know, move forward and to negotiate, and just don't accept crap, don't accept bullshit. If it isn't good enough, if it isn't bringing you that high vibe, you know, lovely feeling of life, if you feel like you're surviving or in survival mode, make these changes, however tricky or kind of overwhelming it might feel like, because this card really wants to bring in peace. It really wants to bring in happy times, better quality living. But in order to do that, we have to be really honest with ourselves. And I think sometimes that's the scary part. Just to make any change sometimes takes us into that place of fear, uncertainty, the unknown. And a lot of people, they just sort of, you know, prefer to sort of stay stuck and prefer to just carry the heaviness, because even though it's not always nice, they're familiar with it. They know what to expect. They've become accustomed to it. But it's the wrong energy. And I suppose really what we're saying here, switch it up, give yourself permission to receive a lighter energy, a more high vibe frequency, because when you do that, that's when real magic starts to happen. I always remember when I was in a job I absolutely hated, and I was in it for many years, and I felt like I couldn't leave because of fear of the finances and everything else. But when I left, the euphoric energy, the euphoric freedom that I had, it was literally like one of the most best feelings I've ever had, actually, because I felt so heavy, so compromised. I was so much in this, my mental health was at an all-time low, and I was sort of in a bit of a crash and burn situation, you know. And when I left and when I sort of, you know, moved forward, it's almost like life just made sense, even though I didn't have a full plan and I really was winging it all the way, and I still am winging it, to be honest, you know. But like, life just made sense again, and I felt like I had purpose, I had a reason to be here. And so sometimes, you know, we don't have to have everything figured out. We don't have to have a plan or have everything understood. Sometimes we just have to be brave enough to make those initial changes. So that's being really encouraged this week. If you've been, you know, I'll say if you've been drawn to this card, well, this card has been drawn to us. It's come out for the energy of the week. So do what needs to be done. But hopefully by doing that, you know, peace can absolutely prevail, and a better, higher vibe way of living can materialize for you guys. So stay focused. So what's happening this week despite the heat? So very much this week, let's talk about what we're doing. So I'm mainly doing Zooms this week, obviously weather permitting. If it gets too hot, I may have to cancel sessions because I can't work in the immense heat, you know, like we've been having, because it often triggers migraines and everything else. So we'll have to monitor that as and when, but I will try my best to honour sessions and appointments. What else? On Saturday, I'm going to be down at kind of Burnham-on-Sea at Collective Dreams. I'm hoping to not be ill this time, so I can sort of catch up with the girls. It'd be great to sort of see everybody there. It is fully booked, so thank you very much if you've secured your space to come and see me. And then the following week, on the following Thursday, I'm going to be over at Theodoria's Retreat Wellness Cafe in Gillingham, Dorset, doing an intimate evening of mediumship. When I last checked in, there were 6 tickets left. I don't know if that's still the case, or there might be less now. But if you want to come and see me for an intimate night, it's a maximum of 20 people. So what's lovely with those kind of evenings is you're, you know, more guaranteed to maybe get a little bit of a message or a reconnection. It's likely that I will get around a lot more people than the bigger demos. So come and support that if you're able to, because it's going to be great. It's going to be really fabulous. And then on that Saturday, I'm going to be over in Frome, doing again a sold out day of reads at Carpe Noctem. All of the in-person readings for August are currently booked out, and you know, sometimes people moan about that and they sort of whinge a little bit, but to me that's the sign of a good reader. If you can go places and you can constantly sell out, that usually says something about the ability, the craft, you know, the skill. So just putting that out there. For anyone that wants a Zoom session, so I am sort of quoting end of August into September time, so just be mindful of that date-wise. Also, there are a couple of people that have outstanding balances. I can't keep holding spaces, you know, it's not fair on me, it's not fair on other people that perhaps want to book in sooner and are ready to pay. So just a reminder, you know, if you haven't paid, I will hold a space for 24 hours when, you know, once you've kind of contacted me and we've secured a date, if payment isn't made within that 24-hour window, spaces are going to be given elsewhere. I'm not prepared to keep holding them for people because it's actually really rude. And I think if you truly want to have a session, if you truly want to have a reading, you know, payment up front is how I work. I advertise that, you know, I make it crystal clear that's the way that my service works. And if you can't honor that, and if you can't do that, you're not ready to have a reading with me. There may be other readers that tolerate that, I don't. So just putting it out there as a bit of a polite reminder, please, 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 if we've agreed a date, get your payment made so I can obviously do the Zoom link and everything else, and we can just get the security. And if you can't do that, you know, just don't hog the space, because, you know, when I'm messaging people, all of a sudden it's like, really sorry, can't do it. And yeah, it's just messing everybody around, and it's just not the energy exchange that I want to work with. So not meaning to be sort of moody or moany, but it's just boundaries, keeping it real. So yes. Anyway, have a beautiful week ahead. Look after yourselves. Be aware of this, and obviously make the relevant changes to keep moving forward and to stay high vibe and to stay fabulous. So I will leave it with you. Have a cool one. I will look forward to catching up with some of you lovelies very soon, and I will see you as and when. Much love. Take care. Bye for now.